Call the meeting to order. Move on to item 2, the consent agenda. All the following items which concern reports and items of routine nature normally approved by AHA meetings will be approved by one vote unless any trustee desires to have a separate vote on any or all of the items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and action on the following items. A, the minutes of the special trustees meeting May 28, 2024. Finance committee minutes June 18, 2024. And C, the check report May 9, 2024 through June 8, 2024.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda A through C as printed.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Dr. Simon to approve consent agendas, items A through C. Any questions? Roll call.
Martin?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Burke?
Yes.
Simon?
Yes.
Mossberg? Yes. Brown?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes. If it's okay with everyone, we are going to move to item 8, the shared convalescent home report. Kind of help save some time and maybe get some folks that don't have to stay here for the whole meeting. So real quick, I just want to thank everybody for Finance Committee and everybody's work. Community, City of Alva, and the Jordans, pretty exciting time coming up on this. So we've got several to go through. First is A, the discussion and action to approve or disapprove accepting the ownership conveyance of a shared convalescent home, real property, located at 730 Shared Drive in Alva, Oklahoma, from the City of Alva, Oklahoma.
So, the City Council met about 30 minutes ago, and with 3 minutes worth of tedious work, they approved the election from last Tuesday, and they conveyed the property to the hospital authority with unanimous decisions. So this is an item that just means that we are going to accept the property as the hospital authority.
I'll make a motion to approve the ownership conveyance of shared convalescent home real property located at 730 Shared Drive, Alva, Oklahoma, from the City of Alva, Oklahoma.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Bowman, a second by Dr. Simon to approve and accept the ownership conveyance of the shared convalescent home real property located at 730 Shared Drive in Alva, Oklahoma, from the City of Alva, Oklahoma. Roll call.
Burke?
Yes.
Simon?
Yes.
Mossberg? Yes. Brown?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Okay, that motion is approved. B, now we have the discussion action to approve or disapprove the personal property purchase contract by and between the Alva Hospital Authority, Shared Medical Center, Shared Convalescent Home, and Beatles Operations, LLC. Kelly, anything you want to?
You would have gotten the copy of the contract and signed copy in your packet. We did make one minor change to what was sent out, but that was on a signature page for one of the exhibits. It should have had 2 signatures for Adam. It had 1 signature for Adam and 1 signature for Candace, and we have gotten that edited, and Adam has signed, and in fact all of the contract and all the exhibits and other necessary signatures with the contract have been signed by Beatles, and so this is ready for us to approve at this point.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the personal property purchase contract by and between Alva Hospital Authority, Shared Medical Center, and Shared Convalescent Home, and Beatles Operation, LLC.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Bowman, a second by Dr. Simon to approve the personal property purchase contract by and between the Alva Hospital Authority, Shared Medical Center, and Shared Convalescent Home, and Beatles Operations, LLC. Any further questions? Roll call.
Simon?
Yes.
Mossberg? Yes. Brown?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Burke?
Yes.
Okay, item C on number 8, discussion and action to approve or disapprove the real estate contract of sale by and between the Alva Hospital Authority, Share Medical Center, Share Convalescent Home, and Beatles Operations LLC.
Same thing, so there weren't any edits that needed to be made to this from what was sent out to you. And then I guess, you know, I don't want to, I'd love to just rush through and get all this approved and be done with it, but I don't want to minimize the importance of what we're doing here, because this is huge for the people of our community. I think it's going to be really good for Share Medical Center, and I think that, you know, the Jordans feel the same, or they wouldn't be moving forward with this. And so I don't know if, Adam or Dana, Blake, do you guys want to say anything, or do you just want us to vote?
I'll be glad to speak. I'll take a turn, but I think we've approached this idea before, and then a year ago, January, we approached it again, and it just means that we're going to be sustainable. If everything stays the same, you know, government can change, pay can change, and all that stuff. But we've looked around, you know, Guyman closed, Moreland closed for a little bit. We're breaking even and a little bit ahead most of the time, but together, one facility or maybe two, who knows what, we're going to see how we handle two facilities, because we're going to have to, it's going to take time to do the things that you guys have talked about doing and what we've talked about doing to the building itself. So we just see this as a way forward for the future. We have our 2 more generations behind us in this room, so we'll see what, I'm not promising anything from them, but well, the 3rd generation in this room. The 1st and 2nd in here are planning on moving forward and doing the best that we can. That's all we can do. You know, it's in our blood. Blake was raised in the building just like I was. I tell people I was there from the second stop from the old hospital was there, and then I went home. So it's in our blood, and it's how we were raised. You guys know how to run a hospital. We know how to run a nursing home. It's just, you know, that's all we've done all our lives, what we were raised to do. So I appreciate you guys considering this, and with all our help and God's willing, we'll move ahead.
There you go. Okay. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the real estate contract for sale by and between Alva Hospital Authority and Share Convalescent Home sale and Beatles Operation LLC.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that? Greg, okay. I have a motion by Dr. Brown, second by Mr. Bowman, to approve the real estate contract of sale by and between Alva Hospital Authority, Share Medical Center, Share Convalescent Home, and Beatles Operations LLC. Any questions? Roll call.
Mossberg? Yes. Brown?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Burke?
Yes.
Simon? Yes.
Candace should be back here towards the end of this week, and I'll get her signatures on these documents, and then we'll get moving through the process with, you know, Woods County Abstract, all the different players, and we'll get a move on. State of Oklahoma, all in the above.
3 to 4 months with the state of Oklahoma, hopefully.
Now we got you on camera saying that. So.
That's all right.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Move on to item D, discussion and action to approve or disapprove the Share Convalescent Home operating budget for our fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Kelly?
Okay, so that is that all finance committee tab?
It should be.
Or
Yes.
finance?
Yeah.
So at the back of the financial statements tab, you'll find all the budgets. This one's for the convalescent home. Basically, we built a budget that was going to reflect 6 months of operations. If it's only 3 or 4 months of operations, then obviously, you know, this budget will only be as good as however long it lasts. But we figured 6 months would more than cover the amount of time it would take to close on the nursing home. So it has $1,324,539 in revenue. Gross revenue, we're figuring in reductions from revenue for insurance contractuals at $11,986. For net patient revenue of $1,312,553. And other operating revenue of $61,607 for a total operating revenue of $1,374,161. With our operating expenses, we've calculated them a little bit differently because we've had quite a few changes in the operation with the addition of Beetle staff mingled in with our staff and that sort of thing. So some of these are figured up a little bit differently than just a straight 6 months worth of, you know, budget. But you can kind of see in the remarks over there in the right-hand column rationale for how those numbers were determined. And that gives us total operating expenses of $1,527,816. It's an improvement on our overall performance from last year, and it's about the same as our performance what we've seen the last 5-6 months at the nursing home. And all that together will have a net operating loss of $153,600 and I should have brought my glasses at $55. We will have interest income that we're budgeting at $3,452, and so our net loss would be $150,203 over that 6-month period. We do have cash to cover that loss.
Any questions for Kelly? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the homestead, the shared convalescent home operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025?
Make a motion to approve the shared convalescent home operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Dr. Brown, second by Dr. Simon, to approve shared convalescent home operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Roll call?
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon. Yes. Mossberg. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I appreciate everybody doing that. We'll go back up to number 3, the CEO's report. Again, Candace is heading back, but you've been sent out. You've got before you the report. So, Kelly, anything you want to highlight? Or
You know, I'm not going to go through the report necessarily, but if you guys have any questions from the report, I'll try to answer them. I will say that June so far has been kind of interesting in terms of patient census, and we've had one day this month that we had, I think, 9 inpatient, and so that was unusual for any time of year, especially June. Anyway, we're looking forward to Candace being back, but you know, we're all still here, we're all still alive.
any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve and accept the shared medical written report for June 2024?
I make a motion to approve the Share Medical Center written report for June 2024.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Dr. Simon, a second by Dr. Brown to approve and accept Share Medical Center written report for June 2024. Roll call?
Bowman,
Yes.
Burt,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Mossberg. Yes. Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. CFO report. A, first, Kelly, want to go over statistics report and financial report?
Yes, sir. Just briefly, I want to announce, and we introduced to Finance Committee that Jaden Lewis will be has accepted and is stepping into the controller position. Chris Lauderdale is returning to Northwestern, and it's going to be a good opportunity for him, and so we're excited for him and his family. But we're also in pretty good shape, having had Jaden already employed with Share Medical Center. She's got a degree in accounting, and she's pretty sharp cookie. So we're moving forward with new people, new faces and new positions, and things are going pretty well so far. I want to point out on the summary statement where the operating cash balance was negative $67,673. That is not the balance in our checking account. That is, however, some timing issue between making a transfer from our line of credit into our operating account. So we never were overdrawn or anything like that. In our transition of personnel, we missed some timing on that particular item, but we did end up covering everything with between our line of credit and the cash that we had in the bank, and so we didn't actually have a negative number, but our operating cash showed that at May 31st, so that it is accurate, except it's a little misleading. The hospital accounts receivable balance was $4,167,639. That decreased during the month of May by about $56,000. If you look at our gross days and AR with the 90-day rolling average, our unbilled went from 7.2 to 4.9, so that was an improvement of 2.3 days, and that actually put us where we want to be in accordance with our key performance indicators for turning a service into a bill. And so that was good. When we increased or decreased our days unbilled, we did have a little bit of an increase in our billed days for third party, and that's with the insurance companies, and so that went from 41.1 to 45.9. We're trying to be around 31 days there, and we met with TrueBridge today, who's our billing company, and talked about some strategies for knocking that down even further. It's a lot of cleaning up on the front end of our registration processes, and so we're working on that. The self-pay bill days was 16.1. That was an improvement. So that's when they don't have insurance and their private pay. We're getting those bills out quicker now than what we were in April. And so you can see the totals there. The total is 1.2 days more, but we did have improvement in 2 of those areas. The accounts payable balance for May was $1,313,561. Gross patient revenue was $2,047,541, and that was a decrease of $21,249 compared to April. And the changes were basically related to we had inpatient days that were increased compared to April, but office visits were down. So inpatient days went from 33 in April to 53 in May, but clinic visits went from 1,743 in April down to 1,549 in May. Contractuals, less bad debts and charity care were 59.2% of gross revenue. Accounts written off to collection agencies, $9,767. We didn't have any charity care in the month of May, and we did clean up a lot of what was in our old system prior to July 1st. And so prior to July 1st, 2023, it was accounts from prior to July 1st, 2023. So we cleaned up a lot of that in the end of May and here in the month of June. The operating expenses for the hospital, excluding salary, benefits, and depreciation, totaled $759,533. That was an increase of $218,000. Wages totaled $642,730, which was an increase of $250,471 compared to the prior month. Regarding salaries and wages, May was a 3 pay period month, and also May included, so that first payday in May was May 3rd, and so every bit of the work that was done, the labor that went into that payroll was completed in the month of April. When that gets adjusted off, we adjusted less off for the month of May because there wasn't any May in that, but the pay was in there. So it kind of, looking month to month at our salaries is a little bit misleading because we aren't up and down. We're basically working the same hours for the same pay and all of that, and just the way the accrual works, which is how the auditors want us doing it. So at the end of this month, when we close out the fiscal year, then there'll be another entry that balances all that out. So net operating profit for May was a profit, and it was $24,516. And then after the addition of non-operating revenue, we had a total net profit of $125,259. You can see the comparisons on the next page for the last 6 months. May was another month where we were over $2 million in gross revenue, so that's where we want to be. And in particular, that being in May, it was a pleasant surprise. We usually see a little bit of a slide between May and August. Not as many people seeking care. And so that's the 6-month detail. If you go to the 3-year comparison, year to date, 2024, we're sitting at $20,600,000, almost $610,000 in gross revenue. We've had about $10 million in contractuals, but we have had other operating revenue of about $2.5 million, which puts our total operating revenue at just over $13 million. Our total operating expenses are $13,802,000. And so net operating income is $797,000 loss, but after the addition of sales tax and the subtraction of interest expenses, we did have a net income, or do have a net income year to date also of $337,979. June looks to be trending in a similar fashion, so we shouldn't see that number go down for a year-end, year-to-date. We should see that number go up, which is what we like.
Very good. Any questions for Kelly? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to letter D, the discussion and action to approve or disapprove the removal of Chris Lauderdale as owner and signer on all Alva Hospital Authority Share Medical Center and its subsidiaries' bank accounts. All of the following will be approved by one vote of the authority unless any trustee desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. So we will be, the motion would, I would ask to be included A through N unless you have something specific you'd like to break out.
I move to approve the removal of Chris Lauderdale as owner signer on all Alva Hospital Authority Share Medical Center and its subsidiary bank accounts, items A through N.
Second.
A motion by Dr. Simon, a second by Dr. Brown, to approve the removal of Chris Lauderdale as the owner signer on all Alva Hospital Authority Share Medical Center and subsidiary bank accounts, A through N. Roll call.
Yes.
Mossberg. Yes. Brown.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Chris's last day is tomorrow, and so we're going to continue to use him for a little bit. We'll keep him on the payroll for here and there if we need to call him for some assistance. And both he and his next employer have agreed to work with us through the transition, whatever we might need. So Chris has been a good help. We appreciate him.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to item C, discussion and action to approve or disapprove the addition of Jaden Lewis as the owner signer on all Alva Hospital Authority, Share Medical Center, and its subsidiary bank accounts. All the following items will be approved by one vote of the authority unless any trustee desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items, A through N again.
Make a motion we approve items A through N.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Dr. Simon to approve the addition of Jaden Lewis as the owner signer on all Alva Hospital Authority, Share Medical Center, and its subsidiary bank accounts A through N as listed. Roll call?
Simon.
Yes.
Mossberg. Yes. Brown.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Burke.
Yes.
Okay.
So all of you that are on the signature cards, sorry.
Again.
Again.
Let me go back on that then. Yeah, okay. You'll let us know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on to item D, the discussion and action to approve or disapprove option 3 for roof repairs by Exterior Solutions Group LLC at a cost of $130,575 with a $22,733 contingency for additional insulation replacement. Kelly?
So a little over a month ago, we sustained some pretty decent wind damage to the roof over the middle section of the hospital, which is over the acute care floor, the inpatient floor. The repairs are, they're not, they didn't declare enough, the insurance company didn't declare enough damage for us to meet our deductible. So and our deductible is 2% of the building cost or the cost of replacement. And that is up around $480,000. We did go out for quotes, and we did get 3 quotes. In your packet, there were only 2 companies quoting, but I did get the 3rd quote, and it did not make it onto the paper. But it was Alva Roofing Company, and it was more than what we were going to recommend, so I didn't update the packet. But the company that I'm recommending is Exterior Solutions Group, and they do a product called a fleece back. It's got an 80-mile-an-hour wind. It's warranted for 20 years against 80-mile-an-hour winds and 3-inch hail. Most of our issues are wind. Generally it's not hail damage that we're dealing with, it's wind. And so they don't think that they're going to have to tear off the insulation on the north half of that section of the roof. However, they're going to thermal scan it, and they're going to check it for moisture and separation. And if after they pull that membrane off, because they're going to replace the whole membrane, but after they pull the membrane off, if they feel like the insulation has become unadhered from the deck, or if there is moisture in there, they will replace the insulation. And then if they don't do that, the only part that's not covered on that warranty is the insulation that they didn't pull up. And then if they do end up having to replace everything from the deck up, then it'll all be under the full 20-year warranty. Basically, that contingency takes you from quote number 3 up to quote number 2.
And that would take care of everything if needed.
If needed, that takes care of everything.
Any other questions for Kelly?
roof repairs by Exterior Solutions Group, LLC, at a cost of $130,575, with a $22,733 contingency for additional insulation replacement.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Brown, motion by Mr. Bowman, second by Dr. Brown, to approve option 3 for roof repairs by Exterior Solutions Group LLC at a cost of $130,575 with a $22,733 contingency for additional insulation replacement. Any further questions? Roll call?
Mossberg? Yes. Brown?
Yes.
Sanford?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Burke?
Yes.
Simon?
Yes.
Okay. Motion is passed. We'll move on to E, discussion and action to approve or disapprove the Share Medical Center operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Kelly.
Dadgum. Give me a minute, I need to go get my glasses. I printed it on bigger paper.
Use mine as long as you get them back to me when I need it.
Okay, so we, with the Finance Committee, we projected the 2025 budget based on our actual performance from May through June. And then we multiplied that out over a 12-month period to get these numbers. We didn't project any increase or decrease in census or rates for inpatient, and so we have a budget of $2,289,388. I misstated that a little bit. We also, the only variation we did to that was we actually took what our actual performance last July and August and plugged those in, because typically those are lesser months below average. Typically they're below average, so we did put 4 below average months in and then 8 above average months in. So that's how we come to that figure. For the outpatient revenue, we did increases for our Senior Life Solutions program and our growing surgery program. But no other increase or decrease otherwise versus the 2024 actual performance, except for, like I said, for the above average months and the below average months. So we're looking at outpatient revenue of $21,220,787. Total gross patient revenue, $23,510,175, which is about a $1.2 million increase over what we think we might come in at this year, and it's about a $1.4 million increase over what we budgeted last year. On reductions to revenue, we used the same percentage of reductions that we used for last year's budget, and that would be $11,100,643. The only changes that we made in the reductions to revenue were based on PMC and surgery. So that gives us a total net revenue of $12,409,532. We do have $2,380,180 of other operating revenue, and you can see out in the margin what that includes. That includes cost report, 340B, shop payments, and I just had a little note in there that we are anticipating, but it's getting a little late in the month, but we are anticipating a $500,000 cost report payment that we were hoping to get before the end of the year, but it doesn't, I don't know. They've got a few days left. We'll see. And then there is another allocation in there for homestead management. So that takes total operating revenue to $14,789,712. On the expenses, We only budgeted for increases in PMC or Senior Life Solutions and surgery, like I said, and then everything else, no increase or decrease over where we actually think we're going to finish this year. And so that was for salaries. For the benefits, we are adding benefits for our department heads, and so that's figured in there. They're going to get a little bit more benefit than what they've been getting for their health insurance. And the rest of these are only increasing because of the new service lines, except for utilities. They're increasing with a CPI of 3.5%. And then our depreciation has increased for our added mammography machine. So total operating expenses are going to be $15,576,628 for a net operating income or loss of $786,916. But by the time we add in, before I get ahead of myself, we are making, Finance Committee wants to start putting money back for roofs, equipment that, comes to end of life, things like that. So we did budget kind of a new line in here, and it's green, for contributions to the savings account. And so our plan is to take $10,000 a month and start putting that away. We also have that the sale of the nursing home, plus what we're anticipating for the employee retention credit for the nursing home, and all of those going into that savings account as well. So that gets us quite a bit of interest income for next year, which will also help with the bottom line. That's technically not income or expense right there. It's just a move, but I wanted to put that in there so you see that we were making that effort. Sales tax, we're projecting flat, and then after everything, we'll have a net income of $375,505. So we are budgeting to be in the black. I don't think that's pie in the sky. I think that's very realistic, and I think, honestly, we'll probably be better than what this shows.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve Share Medical Center operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025?
I'll make a motion to approve the Share Medical Center operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Mr. Bowman and a second by
Connor Martin.
roll call.
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon. Yes. Mossberg. Yes.
Okay, and then item F, a discussion regarding just capital outlay items for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Kelly's just going to give us a little update on what we kind of talked about, which is a few things.
Yeah, and the roof was part of that discussion, and we just approved that, and that'll be an FY25 expense. We all might need those again, but the other items were really, I'm not going to say insignificant, because there'll be different pieces of equipment that'll be meaningful to our patient care, but the dollar amounts weren't that high. And so probably the biggest things we're looking at are some needs for HVAC considerations. Our controllers, or control system for the heating and air is becoming more and more difficult to find, if not some of it impossible to find replacement parts. So We're looking at, just for control system, $58,000. And so we're probably going to look at maybe a longer range plan that encompasses the control system. And so I don't have a number for you on what that looks like, but those are the things we're looking at. Of course, we won't do anything that doesn't fit within our means. The other things that we're looking at are surgery is really rocking along, and it would really allow us to give a better level of care, if you will, if we had OR2 in the same condition as we have OR1, and then we can, we can schedule 8-9 surgeries in a day and not have to be here, till 8-9 o'clock at night, and we can go back and forth one OR to another. And so, I don't know a full dollar amount on that either, but it's probably north of $100,000 maybe. But I don't think we're looking at $200,000. I think we can get some good equipment that's not necessarily new equipment, but good refurbished equipment with a warranty and service plan. But I don't have, like I said, I don't have actual numbers on that just yet. We're still working with Dr. Tupper, and Dr. Aniston's been pretty easy to work with from an equipment standpoint. And not that Dr. Tupper's been difficult, and just more equipment with ortho than general surgery. So that's kind of the most of what we're looking at. We might buy a bed, we might buy a stretcher or something in the ER, but we're not looking at anything actually, we won't be buying a bed. We've just bought new beds. But, just some smaller pieces of equipment that we should be able to fit within the operating budget.
Okay, any questions for Kelly on that? We'll move to item number 5, Medical Staff Executive Committee. Dr. Burke.
So the Medical Staff Executive Committee met on June the 20th, 2024. We have 4 items to bring to the board. One's a reappointment and 3 are appointments. The first credentialing committee that we need to bring to the board is the reappointment to courtesy staff of Matthew Jared, MD, who works as our hospitalist.
I move to approve the reappointment to courtesy staff, Matthew Jared, MD, hospitalist.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Simon and a second by Mr. Bowman to reappoint to our courtesy staff Matthew Jared, MD, hospitalist. Any questions? Roll call?
Hannaford,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Mossberg, yes, Brown.
Yes.
Do you want me to read this part?
I can,
Then I
yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
The next following items from 5B, 2 through 4 are all initial appointments to the medical staff. They'll be approved or disapproved by one vote unless any members desire to have a separate vote on any or all of the following items.
So we got an appointment to courtesy staff, Luz Tono, MD. She's filling in as a hospitalist as needed. Appointment 3 would be appointment to allied staff, Jessica Hyman, APRN, family and emergency medicine, working our urgent care mostly. And 4 is appointment to allied staff, Thomas Engel, PA, emergency medicine.
I move to approve items 5B2 through 5B4, initial appointments to medical staff. Do I have to read them?
No, you stated items 2 through 4.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Simon, a second by Mr. Bowman to approve all initial appointments, B2 through 4. Roll call?
Martin,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Mossberg, yes, Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Burke. Moving on to item number 6, Quappy. Kelly, I guess, anything that,
Kelly's getting hammered.
I'm getting hammered. You can see the quality report in your packet. I will point out that there are a couple items in here that would appear that they're not complete, but they have been completed. They just didn't get, we didn't get the documentation into the report, having to do with some of the DMV findings with regard to our physical plant. They're all compliant, and we'll get the plan updated, but there aren't really any major concerns. I think we talked about the DMV survey last month's board meeting, and it really went very well, and we didn't have any major issues with that. So,
okay?
if you do have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer.
Any questions for Quappy or on Quappy? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to item 7, improvement to patient care. We have a contract review of quality evaluations. The following items from 7B to 7E are all routine policies and procedures. They will be approved or disapproved by one vote unless any member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of the following items. B is discussion and action to approve or disapprove the revisions report dated May 31st, 2024. C is the approval or disapproval of laboratory facts inbox procedure. D is the approval or disapproval of the scope of service, laboratory in-house testing. And E is the approval or disapproval of the medical staff bylaws and rules and regulations.
Make a motion to approve items 7B through E as printed.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Dr. Simon to approve items 7B through 7E for the improvement to patient care contract review. Roll call?
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Okay, we've already done 8. Number 9, homestead report. Kelly.
We got a lot of folks moving in, and as I get turned back to the budget for that item, I will say that when I went back and looked at everything, we had an 18% increase in homestead revenue, this year over last year, and so. It hadn't seemed like it picked up that much, but it's kind of a pleasant surprise that it has. Not necessarily a surprise, it just was unassuming as it happened. The staffing's going well. We are getting ready to transition all of the homestead staff to, the homestead staff had been previously going to convalescent home human resources staff for their personnel issues. And so we're transitioning those 12 employees to Maddie with the hospital as part of what we're doing with all of the transitions. So that's going to be happening here soon. Amy Kimberly, who has been in that role at the nursing home as the HR coordinator, has accepted another position. She got a great opportunity, and we're happy for her, but she'll be having her last day July 8th. And so that pretty much everything as far as just a basic report, unless somebody's got any questions about the homestead. I didn't report financials on the nursing home or homestead. Sorry.
Nursing home you did not. You can still do the homestead now, and then we can do the budget.
Throwing too much at me. I don't know what to do. The homestead did have, in May, $61,311 in revenue. I'll say that some of that is just timing on how, because the homestead is reported on a cash basis, so it's timing on how some of the bills were paid and some of the cash come in. The good thing was the expenses were right there at $61,163 also, so they did have a net operating income of $148. So homestead's killing it. Year to date, homestead is at $702,594, which if you compare that to last year, that's a significant increase. Like I said, but $584,000 last year, so $118,000 increase in revenue. Not all that's due to occupancy. We did have a rate increase during the year, but the occupancy has come up. Year-to-date expenses are $637,824. That is also an increase over last year, about $127,000. And so our net income is not as good this year as last year at $64,770 versus $73,000 last year.
Any questions? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and do
The budget.
the budget.
Okay, so we projected a continued increase in census or occupancy at the homestead of 7%. We didn't project another 18%, but we projected a 7% increase in occupancy, plus a 3% rate increase somewhere around January 1st. That's going to be $714,733. On our meal revenue, because we're transitioning, we figured in the number of hospital employee meals and hospital patient meals that are currently provided by the nursing home to the hospital. We're shifting all of that over to the homestead kitchen. And so the meal revenue is going up by about $24,000, what we expect to finish this year at, and $30,000 over what we budgeted, for $130,132. In total, gross revenue $844,865. Nothing about the homestead revenue is encumbered, so there aren't any adjustments for insurance companies or anything like that. So gross revenue is the same as net revenue. The total operating expenses are $844,866. We are adding in there the addition of 3 staff members for 6 months from the dietary department. We are also including department head improvements in their benefit plans, and everything else is basically either the same or the same percentage of the current year's budget. So like the homestead is one where the supply budget pretty well goes the same direction as the revenue budget. So we use the same percentages last year on that. We did a CPI increase for utilities, and this year we added an allocation for administration. So that's human resources, that's financial officer, that's all that. It comes to about 4.75% of the total hospital administration budget, and it's about $60,000. All in, the homestead is going to break even.
Any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the homestead operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025?
Make a motion that we approve the homestead operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30, 2025.
Second.
A motion by Dr. Brown, a second by Mr. Bowman, to approve the homestead operating budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Roll call?
Hannaford,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Kelly, anything with Sherman Foundation report?
Not this time.
We have nobody from St. Anthony's report. Mr. Bowman, City Council report.
Okay, we elected Mr. David Cumming as the interim Woods County Sheriff. The design project is started for a parallel taxiway at the airport. And we also improved the vesting options for all of the city employees. Other than that, it's routine business.
Any questions for Mr. Bowman? Thank you, sir. Chairman's report, I just want to kind of reiterate what Kelly talked about, and on behalf of the board, we'll thank Chris for his work, and going to miss him. But Finance Committee, we did have Jaden came in and sat in our last Finance Committee meeting, and I think she's going to fit in really well and do well, so we're excited to have her on board. Any new business?
We got one item. We have the deed here from the city of Alva. A new thing that's pretty new in Oklahoma is they now require an exhibit attached to those deeds stating the entity that's receiving the property, whether it's a trust, business, the members are U.S. citizens, or anybody that might receive that property would be U.S. citizens. So we need to approve probably the board president to sign the affidavit attached to, or the exhibit attached to the special warranty deed from the city.
So we need a motion for the board president to approve.
Motion for the board president to sign the exhibit to the special warranty deed from the city of Alva for the shared convalescent home.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the board president to sign the warranty deed attachments from the city of Alva on the sale of the rest home.
That works.
Second.
You did great. I'm writing all that down.
I knew Carter wasn't listening, so I was going to have to step up.
I have a motion by Dr. Simon, and I have a second by Mr. Bowman to approve the board president to sign the exhibit for the special warranty attachment for the sale of the rest of it. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, that's.
Second, I made the motion.
Yeah, I had the motion and the second. Okay. Roll call, please.
Martin,
Thought I was still waiting.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes. Can we next time just have some of those like typed up, ready to go?
Yes, yeah, that was, I had one question. I've been confronted by a couple of citizens just asking how Survival Flight is doing. Are they doing as expected? I mean,
I think so. Do you hear anything?
I have not heard.
I know that their transfer numbers, I got their 60-day transfer numbers the other day, and they, I mean, for what the weather's been, their transfer numbers are still pretty good.
I've heard from a couple of families that have used it, nothing but positive.
Yeah, you've had an employee, I know, so, and they singing their praises, yeah.
It's a good question, though. Okay.
Been good for the airport, too.
Any other questions or new business? We are adjourned.